Hey everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest Liverpool news update show. My name is Uncle. That is Steve Hort. Steve, how are you?
I am looking forward to the weekend, and it's been a long week, I think. So I understand the international breaks can be boring, but I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to a little
Weekend
off. A little chill weekend. Yeah,
it's a rarity. So.
Going into it in a good place for the Reds, obviously. So yeah, it's been an eventful week without any footy, but I'm in good spirits. Thanks for asking.
Good. Speaking of being in a good place, we're going to talk about Curtis Jones in a minute, who's in a very good place right now. But Matt Bannister says hi to both of us. Hi to you, Matt. I hope everybody at home, at work, wherever you are watching or listening from, is also well and equally looking forward to the weekend as much as myself and Steve are. Philip says, good morning, gentlemen. Love the jumper. Yeah, I should draw attention to the fact that I'm wearing a Christmas jumper, really. And these are available now on redmenmerch.com. Get that out there nice and early. It's mid-November. We are fully in the swing of heading towards Christmas by this point, so yeah, make sure you get over there, because I'll be dead honest with you, there aren't that many left.
And also, especially if you're not in the UK,
yes,
the shipping is like the end of the month, because they are knitted, take a while to get sorted and get it sorted. So if you want to get your hands on one, yeah, you got till the end of November. If I think it's the 24th, guaranteed the Christmas delivery, so you've got like 10 days. Go and get them.
No messing around, yeah, and they are, equally aesthetically pleasing as they are.
You look good, don't you? Yeah.
Thanks,
yeah,
appreciate that.
Yeah.
So let's do this then, shall we? Let's start with international stuff, Steve. I mentioned a moment ago, Curtis Jones is absolutely loving life on and off the pitch right now. New dad, of course, as we know. His Liverpool form has really propelled in recent weeks. Goals, assists, just boss all-round performances. Gets his England debut last night, and if that wasn't enough, tops that off with a goal, and what a goal it was, and then gets man of the match. Like, it's endless, the list of positivity around Curtis right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's long overdue, really. You've always felt like he was ready to have this breakthrough, whatever spell, and he's never been bad, Curtis. He's just been a little bit inconsistent, a few too many injuries, but that can happen for a young player. He's played over 100 games for Liverpool at the age of 23. Like, it can take its toll. But you're right, it feels like he's in a very good purple patch, not only just in football, but obviously in life as well. And becoming a dad definitely changes you. We've both been there. We both know it is a massive impact on your life, and it seems to have inspired him onto good things. Like I say, didn't watch the game, didn't see too much of it, but I've seen the goal. Obviously, it's circulated all over social media as and when it went in. I was busy watching cricket, if I'm honest, but didn't even know England were playing. But then when I saw the goal, yeah, it's fabulous for him, and yeah, well deserved. I've always thought. Actually, Curtis probably suits international football. I think his game is actually quite suited to international footy. Again, when I have watched England, especially in major tournaments, and I know they've gone close a couple of times, I've always felt like they lack a little bit of control in games. It always feels like England are on the back foot, or the other team are dominating the ball, and England are trying to win it back and stuff like that. So I think his game is well suited to international footy. And I say, when our players go away on internationals, first thing you want them to do is come back fit, and the second thing you want them to do is come back full of confidence. And as it stands, England debut, England goal, a very good goal as well, very, very silky Curtis Jones type goal, then yeah, I'm absolutely made up for him. And he deserves it, mate. Like I say, nobody wants it more, really. Nobody works harder than Curtis. Like what he wants to be. He's a very ambitious man. Yeah, good luck to him.
No, absolutely, yeah. And the goal, it's interesting. I've seen him do that exact finish in the warm up ahead of the Villa game, and I actually put it back out on our socials. Like, he's been practicing this. It was always inevitable it was going to come. But no, and somebody, Plew actually mentioned in the chat there a moment ago, he can't believe he's only just making his debut now, and he feels like he's been close once or twice. I think injuries have stopped it happening. Obviously, he pulled that at the last England squad as well. Who knows? He may well have made it then, but I think it's come at a really good time for him. Obviously, he's maturing as a player, he's maturing as an individual. Not necessarily that he needed to, but it's all just coming together right at the right time. And as I say, a marvellous performance last night. I thought he was outstanding.
Well, I suppose, like, again, the way things work out differently. But like the last international break, he was in decent form, but maybe wasn't as good as the form. No. He comes back and he plays so well against Chelsea. He's had other games as well where he's really done great things.
Making impacts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Leverkusen, I thought he was fantastic. So he's probably got into this one in better form. So actually missing the last game, obviously, for the birth of his daughter, might have worked out, because England can be ruthless, especially. There's a lot of fans, I think, of international teams who don't watch the players, obviously, week in, week out, because they're too busy watching their own teams. And actually, it's actually quite... You could go... Curtis can go under the radar a little bit, because if you're just casually watching Liverpool, you're probably focusing on Mohamed Salah, or you're probably focusing on, Virgil van Dijk, Ibu Konate. But Curtis has been in a good moment So if he'd have played in the last break and maybe just done okay, he doesn't get the plaudits. But now, on his debut, and he scores, and he's man of the match, he's very much in the national psyche now, Curtis Jones, which is good for him. Like, again, good for his profile, good, he deserves it. And yeah, hopefully, like I say, he comes back. They've got another game against Ireland in a couple of days. Get through that, get fit, come back fine. And like I say, mate, he's more than staked a claim for a place in Liverpool's first team. He's probably in it. Like, now, he's the benchmark now. Like the likes of Szoboszlai, Elliott coming back. I've got to try and take the shirt back off Curtis. So yeah, I'm honestly, mate, I haven't spent a bit of time with him in the summer, obviously in America and stuff. And obviously, I'm sure people watch Redmen a lot will have seen the interview Paul with him. I was there as well. He's just a good guy, and he deserves all this. So I'm absolutely made up for him.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, and it's interesting. Quadbod makes the point about Lee Carsley. Clearly, he's backed him. There's a trust there. They work together a lot under 21 stuff. I think Lee Carsley spoke glowingly about him, hasn't he, recently, about one of the best players in terms of talent he's worked with, and he's got all the talent in the world. It's just been a case of putting it together consistently and getting opportunities and all that sort of stuff. That's happened of late, and we've seen obviously the benefits of it from Liverpool and now, of course, from an England perspective as well. But it's a really good time for him because there seems to be a spot up in the Liverpool side. I think it may well be his right now, like you said, but also England about to change manager. So if he's performing like this right now, Tuchel will have watched last night, of course he will have. If he wants to be a regular feature and fixture in that side, he's done himself absolutely no harm whatsoever last night.
I mean, England have got some fabulous midfielders. I honestly, England's midfield options are really, really strong. You know, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden there. If you want, the list is endless. We know that. So it's not the easiest job, and like I say, he's capitalised a little bit. Obviously, there's been 9 or so players who've pulled out for different reasons. Some of them, like Jude Bellingham, for example, in midfield. I'm right. Bellingham didn't play.
Bellingham played. Yeah. Bellingham was there.
But who didn't play in midfield? Was it Mainu? Sorry,
there's a few, to be fair. Declan Rice didn't.
Yeah, Declan Rice. So they're the two didn't. So get your chance and take it. And like I say, he did that with Liverpool, and it looks like, again, from that, he's done it with England. So.
Well, he's forged a bit of a career doing that, really, hasn't he? Because he's often been on sort of the periphery and the fringes. And to be fair to him, to give him his credit, like when he's got in the side, often he's sort of kept the shirt, and deservedly so. But then maybe an injury's derailed him, and he's had to step away again. He has to work his way back time and time again. So for somebody who's still so young in his career, you mentioned the amount of appearances he's made a lot of appearances, but he's never really been like the consistent starter for weeks and months on end. Hopefully he can do that now. You mentioned Ireland there, Steve. Nicely done, because Kevin Kelleher also played last night. A penalty save, another man in the match performance on international duty from a Liverpool point of view. A win over Finland. We spoke about Curtis Jones being in a good moment right now. The same could be said for Keith Kelleher.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's fantastic. He's so good. I've said a few times, like, if he is going to leave in the summer, and the future is what the future is, like, he's putting a few more pounds on there, or zeros on the price tag, and maybe getting himself a better club. Like, you know, under Nottingham Forest, they're regretting not maybe matching Liverpool's price in the summer, because he's already probably worth more than that at this moment in time. Yeah, he's just brilliant. He's clearly an international Premier League, Champions League level goalie, and like I say, he's another one who should be full of confidence. The difference with him, of course, is like his future, unlike Curtis Jones, it looks like Keith Kelleher's future lies away from Liverpool at this moment in time. Again, things can change, and Arne Slot might change his mind on that, or, you know, whatever. Like, you know, it looks like, you know, the Mamardashvili signing was probably more above Arne Slot in terms of a club decision, scouts, Richard Hughes, etc. Like, who knows, like, what the future holds for all of these players. But yeah, Kelleher's in such a great moment, and like I say, I need to be careful. I know we've got a lot of Irish watchers and listeners. Like, it is a different level. Like, with all due respect, like, playing for Liverpool and playing for Ireland is different. You probably, as a goalkeeper, you might expect to be a little bit busier than as you are for Ireland. And again, you wonder sometimes if a goalie's been playing so well for Liverpool and he goes away and he gets beat, or, you know, he's saving 15 shots or whatever, because that knock his confidence. But actually, Kelleher's going to come back the other way so far. We'll see what happens against England, of course, but he should feel, you know, again, be feeling $1 million about himself, because it's again, I saw the penalty save. I read his interview again, it was via the Liverpool website, I don't know who he spoke to, apologies, and he said, like, that wasn't one where it was a predetermined guess or he'd done his homework. He said he watched the lads run up, and I had a feeling
instinctively went,
well, if he's running up like that, he's going to have to hit it here. So that's really good goalkeeping. That's like high level IQ goalie. Some goalies will just pick a side and guess, they'll look on the water bottle. He always hits right, go right. The fact that Kelleher has watched the run up and gone, actually processed all that, really, really smart for him, because he always comes across as a smart goalkeeper. So Yeah, again, another one who's in a real good moment for us and for his national team as well.
Yeah, he most definitely is, yeah. Nathan Weiss asked the question here, and I'll come back to you on it. There's been a bit of Kelleher chat, obviously, as we've been discussing him, about sort of the reasons and the whys as to why we have gone and done the Mamardashvili bit of business. But Nathan Weiss just sums it up, really. I'll put it to you, Steve. Kelleher's performance last season, as well as this season, are making me wonder why we signed the other goalkeeper. Now, there's a few different ways of looking at this, really. Is my perspective, I'll give you mine before I come to you, is Kelleher is outstanding, clearly. Alisson Becker's the best in the world. I think Liverpool perceive, whether it be data-driven or whatever, however they've got to this decision, I think they think Mamardashvili could become the best goalkeeper in the world down the line. I don't think they see Kelleher as quite that level. That'd be my take on it. Or is it the fact that Kelleher just wants to go?
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, it might just be that they think Alisson's too injury-prone. And we need Liverpool have got 2 good goalies now.
But that'd be free in theory.
No, but
because you could just make Kelleher the guy.
No, but then just move Alisson on. That's what I'm saying. It might be that. We don't know. I kind of if that is Liverpool's thing, I disagree. I think Kelleher's got all the attributes to be one of the best goalies in the world. Like, what's he missing really? That like, I haven't watched tons of Mamardashvili and I've seen the clips and stuff, but like, he's not doing anything I don't think Kevin Kelleher can't do or hasn't done. I actually think Kelleher's well better with his feet.
Yeah, I agree on that.
On that. So I don't know the answer. My guess is it was a market opportunity to get a very good goalkeeper at a very decent price. I think Liverpool, if they do sell Kelleher this summer, will get more money. So in effect, he could make a bit of extra dough and already have the replacement in. Mm-hmm. But I think Nathan's question's right. I actually kind of half disagree. I don't think Kelleher had a great...
I thought he was poor last season, actually, when he came in sometimes.
At the start of the Europa League campaign, for example, I didn't think he was good at all. And
that was on the back of, sorry to interrupt, that was on the back of his final appearance of the season before at Southampton, when he was really poor.
Yeah, but this season, again, I think he's been fabulous. He really has. So, yeah, again, we don't know. It's obviously, again, it's a data-driven decision. Someone somewhere seen the stats on Mamardashvili, and if you look at the stats, and you know, I know Chris and Josh have done this in the past on deep dives, like, he has very high percentile in some of the key attributes that you want from a goalie, and he might be better. Like, time will tell, but listen, mate, it's a good problem to have. Yeah. If you've got 3 class goalies and you say, listen, battle it out for the shirt, and one of you is staying, one of you is a sub, and one of you is going, sorry to Yaros, but source mate, there's no room for you at the end, whatever. Yeah, fair play to you, but I think it is a very good question. Like,
it is though, yeah.
I don't know the answer. I don't think Mamardashvili could be doing much more if he was Liverpool's goalie than Kevin Kelleher has been doing recently. So, yeah, long may that continue. Like I say, we're going to need him for a while. You know, everyone's talking Alisson injury. Like, there's no guarantee when Alisson comes back. I know he's only just started doing a bit of gym work. He put on his socials, didn't he? So, he still seems like a long way away, really, Alisson Becker. So, you know, Liverpool have got 11 games between Southampton next weekend and then West Ham on the 29th of December. That's a lot of games in a month. I reckon Kelleher probably starts all of them, touch wood, other than maybe the Southampton League Cup game. Yeah. So Liverpool are going to need the goalie. And, you know, some of the opposition we're playing against, Real Madrid's and Manchester City's, Newcastle will be a tough game as well. You're going to need Kelleher to be on good form, because if he's not, Liverpool aren't going to be where they are at the end of that 11-game stretch. No,
absolutely not. No, it's just a fascinating conversation to me, and I'm just trying to... I'm like most people trying to work out why Liverpool have made the decision that they've made, because they've clearly come to a decision that they view Mamardashvili as the future number 1 goalkeeper of Liverpool Football Club. I'm just trying to fathom. Kelleher's brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and you've said it a moment ago that there's not much he's doing now that Mamardashvili could emulate or could do better than. I completely agree with you, but Liverpool have decided what they've decided, and what I would say is that if they were thinking they could get good money for Kelleher, that probably should have happened last summer, because he's in the final year of his contract all of a sudden by the time next summer comes around. Yeah. So the money you're going to get for him isn't quite as brilliant.
But he didn't get any. That's the point. Because I actually think it was impacted because he didn't play so well. Like, you know, the only like everyone's saying, Kelleher, and obviously there was...
But that's going to be offset this time by the lack of time left on his deal. You're never going to get... Liverpool might want 30 plus for Kelleher. I think that's been suggested in the past. I think that ship sailed, personally. I don't think they're going to get that, because all of a sudden you're going to be in a world where he's in the final 12 months of his contract. I
think they will get it, and I think because worst case is, I think Liverpool, we've seen this before, mate, they're stubborn. They'd rather let someone leave for nothing a year later than make the money back and, you know, get a cheap deal the year before. They very rarely do that. So listen, mate, worst case is, you come in the summer, someone wants him, You say no, then you just say to Mamadashvili, have another year at Valencia, mate, and we'll
Well, they might be in the Segunda Spanish division by that point, so
get to Bournemouth if they wanted you, or whatever, you know what I mean, for another year. So there's ways.
It's a really interesting one, honestly.
Yeah, again, mate, it's one of those actually where there isn't really a bad answer for Liverpool. Like whatever happens, they're gonna have their choice of a real top goalie. But yeah, I think the way Kelleher's playing now, you know, we talk about the summer like. The only official bid that we know of, and I think usually when bids go in, you hear of them. Very rarely will bids, you know, your interest might go under the radar, but actual bids, was it like a few million quid plus Matt Turner
for Forest, yeah.
Like that's all that coming for Kelleher. So this year, again, good for him. Like he might get himself a Champions League move, he might get himself a Europa League move. And yeah, I'm good for him and good for Liverpool. Ultimately, that is what happens.
Yeah, I think he would have been underwhelmed by the interest in summer for what it's worth.
And again, I don't think it was justified because he's better than that. But also, I don't think he'd put his best foot forward in the campaign before.
I mean, I think you're right to allude.
It got better.
The start of the season was particularly shaky. I thought the Europa League early campaign was a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't at it, and not to the levels we've come to expect. You know what I mean? Because he had been so brilliant beforehand. So yeah, I make you right on that. But again, I think the goalkeeper scenario in of itself is a really interesting. A lot of people in the chat suggesting Alisson Becker could move on, but then you remember what Alisson Becker was at Paul Joyce he spoke to at the times, basically, I'm here to the end of my contract. And I know their words, I'm aware of that, but that's what he said. So it's this fascinating conversation. Anyway,
I think on Alisson very quickly.
Go on.
The injuries are a thing. Like you can't ignore the injuries. Like look, like it's all well and good having the best goalie in the world, but when he's injured now,
he's not available. Yeah, exactly that. Okay, let's discuss some transfer stuff, shall we? Let's move on to a potential.
You love transfers.
I love transfers.
You love a transfer gossip.
Well, it's it's the news show.
When Dan's hosting the news show, guys, you can be rest assured you're going to get some hot transfer gossip.
Well, hot might be a bit ambitious, but transfer gossip nevertheless. The only hot thing in here is this jumper. Liverpool are reportedly keen on French winger. It says Ryan Cherki in the article, but I can guarantee you it's Rayan Cherki, but by the by, who am I to spell check, caught offside. According to L'Equipe, over in France, of course, the Reds have shown an interest in signing him. However, would you believe his dream is a move to Real Madrid instead? How many more attackers they need is another scenario altogether. Forward player, 21 years of age, been around for a long time considering he's 21. Another one I remember sort of reporting on years and years ago, it feels like. Steve, I'll ask you more broadly before we go into it. Like, do we need more attackers? Is that somewhere we should be looking? I guess the Salah scenario, he plays right across the front line, you can see there, predominantly from the right. It's all about Salah, is it?
Yeah, that would be a very underwhelming most other replacement, wouldn't it? If that's what it was. Again, we'll see where we are at this moment in time. You know, Liverpool have got 6 forward options. I mean, I know 2 of them are currently injured, and we'll see where we're at with those guys. So, yeah, no, it would be my immediate answer. If Liverpool were going to do business, whether that's in January or the summer. January, I just don't see any world where they sign a forward in January. Unless someone's, touch wood doesn't happen, like someone has a really major injury between now and then, which you'd like to think won't happen. Maybe next summer. Again, you're right. A lot of that will depend on where Mohamed Salah's future lies. What does Arne Slot think of Darwin Núñez, etc., etc. So, yeah, if I'm looking at transfers, again, if it's January, I think the only thing Liverpool might think about doing is a midfielder. I can't see any forwards. And then next year, I think Arne Slot will be quite happy to start next season with the 6 he's got now. I think he'd bite your hand off to start next season with the 6 he's got now. Most Salah dependent.
Can I? Obviously the most Salah dependent. Can I sort of not push back, but offer up a different perspective to that? Because I did one of these shows 2 days ago with Lewis, and we spent a good chunk of it because the rumours were 2 centre forwards. It was Ricardo Pepi and Jonathan David. So therefore, you immediately draw your attention to Darwin Núñez and Diogo Jota. Now, do you think Arne Slot would bite your hand off to have those 2 as a centre-forward options next season? And the reason I ask that question is because there's still question marks around Darwin Núñez and whether we can do it over a prolonged period. And Diogo Jota, brilliant, once again not available for a big old chunk of time.
Yeah, I actually think... I agree on the Jota thing to an extent, but his last 2 injuries, he's been clattered by a big centre.
But that keeps happening.
I know, but you can't look at it. If Tosin lands his knee in your ribs, like you're probably going to. I agree for the most of the time when it's muscular issues, but I think him and his staff backed themselves again, touch wood, to keep people fit. Look what they've done with Ibrahim Konate. Look what they've done for the most part with Curtis Jones. Like these players who have often been in and out with injuries, as it stands again, have been relatively healthy. Liverpool's major injuries have been Harvey Elliott broke his foot. Diogo Jota broke his ribs. Like it's hard. I mean, and then Chiesa, obviously, that's a different one where they've signed a lad who's obviously just isn't fit enough yet, and they've found out they're having to put work into him. So I think most of Liverpool's injuries this year are ones that Arne Slot can think, you just can't do anything about. Time will tell on Núñez. Like I say, from what you see now, he looks like he likes him. The way he speaks about him, and actually the way he speaks about most of his forward players, he's usually quite complimentary of them. So yeah, obviously Liverpool will be doing their due diligence on forwards because they don't have Mohamed Salah under contract. They'd be negligent not to be doing that. So obviously you're going to hear, if a conversation with an agent just checking in on somebody, what's he like, all of a sudden that will hit the press, because why wouldn't you, if you're an agent, get your player's name out there being linked with Liverpool? But yeah, for now, mate, I think we can kind of park forwards. Definitely January, and then we'll see where we are next year.
Absolutely, yeah. Just for conversation's sake, Shirky's got 2 goals and 3 assists so far this season in 11 appearances across all competitions, and the initial report suggests he might be valued at around 25 million euros, which is kind of on what I said the other day about Liga having zero money. Like, they are cash strapped over there. So if there is sort of bargains to be found, it may well be in that particular division, because they need the dough. A lot of people in chat asking about the Wataru Endo rumour. This was sort of from yesterday. It's basically suggesting that Wolves could look to complete a deal for Wataru Endo in January. I don't think we'll be looking to offload him, particularly in the middle of the season, but we'll wait and see on that one.
I could see it if they sign someone.
You have to sign someone, though.
Well, yeah, obviously, if Zubimendi, for example, becomes an option now, or another one comes an option, listen, I still maintain, like, if Liverpool had got Zubimendi over the line in the summer, there was definitely a possibility that Endo might have gone. I know Marseille put a bid in for them. I always think that there's got to be a little bit of interest from at least the player to go, or the club to sell them if a bid comes in, because it very rarely gets that far. It isn't Chat Manager where you just start clicking buttons and just throwing bids in from random players and seeing what can happen. There's a lot of due diligence done. So I as it stands, mate, I wouldn't be doing it. I love the role that Endo's playing at the moment. I think it's a real vital role, and I think he's done it well on more than a few occasions. I thought when he come on at Palace, he did a real good job in what was a real tough game there. Liverpool were not hanging on, but they needed to get control back of the game, and he used his wily veteranness of winning fouls and handballs in the corner flags and stuff. I thought actually when he came on against Arsenal, he did a good job. Probably did it too well. He could have passed to Darwin, but he thought, nah, I'm having none of that. I'm here. I've been told to make sure we draw this game. We're drawing this game. So I think Endo's role has been a good one, and actually he's the only type of player really when I'm looking. We're looking to hold on to a lead. You can look at Liverpool's bench. There's a lot of attacking options usually, or a lot of flair players. Endo is the only get Endo on, get James Milner on, that kind of thing.
Shut it down type.
It used to be, it's a centre back or it's him. So yeah, the only way it happens, like I say, is if Liverpool do business with, like I say, a Zubimendi or something else, and another opportunity comes up in January. Because at that point, you probably can't afford to let him go. But mate, I don't know what you think. I've been really impressed with him, though. Again, it's a limited role, but it is a vital role. I think there's definitely value in a veteran player who can just come on and get you over the line. Like, for example, next week we could be playing Man City, win them 1-0, 5 minutes to go, fucking get Endo on. Yeah, let him just kick a few people and win the ball back a couple of times. Yeah,
and he's done that. He's done it really effectively, like you said there. He's in the sort of the shit house element of it down quite well. There's that moment in the corner, isn't he? He just rolls the ball out with his hands.
Was it Brighton recently did it against that, and he did it well as well?
Yeah, so I've been really impressed with him, and it's a mark and it's testament and speaks volumes of what he is as a professional, that he's been willing. And every time he's spoken as well in the round, the fact he's not really playing, he speaks brilliantly about it. He's like, no, I'm just happy. I'll wait for my chance. And he's just kept working, kept training, and when he's been given those opportunities, like you said there, he's took them, and he's been really good. I thought he was good enough in the Carabao Cup game alongside Tyler Morton in sort of the double pivot role as well at Brighton. That was, so yeah, really pleased for him, and I think he'll continue to be a part of the squad this season. I think next summer is a different conversation. I don't think we'll do anything crazy in January, which means he leaves the football club, but we'll wait and see. Baloo asked when we're doing the Zoe's Place giveaways. They've been done. They've been done on socials this week.
Yeah, keep an eye on the social media, mate. Yeah. They went everywhere. Basically, it would have been really, really long-winded to do them live on a stream, because there was 6 different draws to do, and loading that wheel of names up is not a quick process when there were thousands and thousands of entries. But if you go to all our socials, they have been done. By the way, I have emailed all the winners. So check your email. Well, check your inboxes, because some of them haven't replied to me yet. But
absolutely.
The draws were done, mate. They're all over our socials.
So last story now, and it's quite an interesting one, and it's one I've seen a few people mention sort of over the course of the last 25 minutes already, and it comes surrounding Jarrad Branthwaite, Everton centre-back, of course. The main sort of point of the story from Give Me Sport was that Manchester United are still keen. However, I did find a little line that says, Give Me Sport sources have indicated that Liverpool could be in the mix for the 22-year-old. It goes on to say about Virgil van Dijk's future being up in the air currently, and basically says that Liverpool do like Branthwaite. Now, Steve, this has been said before. Like, Liverpool's admiration for Branthwaite is a thing. I think as a player, they probably do quite like him. It's the Everton factor that makes it complicated. Does it make it complicated?
Yeah, of course it makes it fucking complicated. Absolutely makes it complicated for them. Not for us, like Liverpool. No, I don't think we'd be that bothered. It makes it complicated for Everton. The issue, I like him. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong. He just wouldn't get a game for us now. So if you're advising him, you're probably saying you're going, you're England international, or he should be, he's been called up a few times. He left with injury the other day. If Virgil leaves, then maybe it becomes more of a discussion. Mm-hmm. But at this moment in time, I just don't see it, because he's probably not going to want to come and be a third or fourth choice centre half somewhere. Mm-hmm. He's going to want to play. He isn't Virgil van Dijk, obviously. He isn't Ibu Konate. I firmly believe that at this moment in time, we've got the two best centre backs in the league playing for us.
Absolutely.
And I'm a big fan of some of the other ones. Like I say, I fully respect how good I think William Saliba is, and even Gabriel, who plays next to him. I mean, there's loads of real strong centre half performers around the Premier League at the moment, but we've got the best two. I can see why Liverpool would like him, and I can see why, a very good option. Probably, I would say, if he came into our pecking order right now, he'd be third. Mm-hmm. He probably goes above Kwanzaa and Gomez. Probably, although Joe Gomez has been fantastic. So there's that again. That's another argument. Again, when these rumours come out last summer, I was thinking, I could absolutely see Liverpool wanting to do that, but there was talk that Joe Gomez was going to leave, and again, we'll see where his future lies. I just can't imagine a world where Everton sell Jarrad Branthwaite to Liverpool. I think if they were going to accept a bid from somebody, they would just rather it not be from us.
I agree with that.
So he'd have to really push for that move and go, I'm not going anywhere else other than Liverpool. I don't think that he would do that. If I was him, again, his agents or whatever, I understand the law of Man United. He will get a game for Man United. Like, there's no doubt about it. There's actually other Premier League teams as well. But yeah, when I really struggle to see where Everton, especially under a new ownership, the first thing they do when they eventually take over is sell their best player to Liverpool. Like it's
talk about getting off on the wrong foot. Like.
It's getting off on no feet. Like chop the feet off because it's been that horrendous. So yeah. A good player, but I would say probably highly unlikely at best.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And obviously last summer Everton were demanding, was it 80 million they wanted for Manchester United for him? I think United were willing to pay like 35 if memory serves me right. But yeah, good player, as you said. The injury problem is actually more of a thing that immediately draws to my mind.
Oh, he's been injured
constantly. Yeah, he pulled out the England squad as well this week, so that'd be more of a red flag against his name, really. And I think you're right though. I think the only way Everton would have sold to Liverpool or would like to sell to Liverpool is if they had to. Like if they went into administration recently, which felt like it was a possibility at one point, but as you said there, when that new takeover ownership does finally come into place, I don't think we'll be getting Jarrad Branthwaite off them.
I think he will leave this summer for Everton probably. I think Man United and Chelsea are the two places that scream where
Chelsea need more players as well, don't they? So
they need more centre backs. Actually, I don't rate any of them. I think
they sound a lot of crap, but they sound a lot.
Yeah, but they could just do you rate any of their centre half options? Colwell's been all right actually recently.
Only all right. I think Fofana pre-injury was a good player. Personally, I don't think Benoit Badiashile any good, so I don't think he's the answer to that. That's Disasi is not it either. So I tend to agree, but again, more money, more transfer.
Where does that stop them? And
I get it.
50 age profile, actually Chelsea are going down this youth revolution. And then Man United, De Ligt, Martinez,
there's Lenny Oliver as well, yeah.
He's probably
Johnny Evans still.
Harry Maguire, he's better than all of them for me at this moment in time, probably. No, definitely. In fact, I haven't seen enough of Lenny Oliver to know about him, but the others I think he would be. So, yeah, I remember speaking to the guys from Toffee about it, like off camera a couple of times, and they were like, there's just no way. He said the only way it would have happened was PSR, deadline, and no one else was putting the money in, and we had no choice. Over the club was going to be deducted 20 points or something to Liverpool. It would have been the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
But the Man United factor...
Only just, probably.
But the Man United factor made that a non-starter because Man United were there with some money. So, I don't see it. Centre-back is an interesting one for us coming forward because, like I say, Virgil and Gomez's future. So, again, Liverpool will be doing work on centre-halves and they should be doing work on centre-halves because as it stands, the captain hasn't signed the contract, so they have to be doing it. Could you see... Out of 100, you'd be telling it's a 1 in 100 chance, wouldn't you, for this one to happen?
Maybe slightly higher than that, but I think there'd have to be a lot of circumstances that meant that Everton had no choice. They were bent over a barrel somewhat, and that might be Branthwaite really pushing for that move. But somebody earlier on in the chat, I've lost it now, forgive me, was like, is he a secret Liverpool fan like Gordon? I don't even think he's an Everton fan. He's born in Carlisle, so I very much doubt he supports red or blue, to be honest with you. I don't think he'd be forcing and sort of banging down the door to get a move to Anfield necessarily either. But like I said a moment ago, only 4 appearances so far this season in the Premier League and 186 minutes, so not a lot of fuss. I thought he was good last year, I do, but there are more and more injury problems creeping into his game, it feels like. So.
I also think, again, and Liverpool scouts will, and again, they clearly like him because that's been the general report, and it is massively different being Everton centre-half and being camped on your own 18-yard box and playing for Liverpool and being on the halfway line. Like it's just it's almost a completely different position. Like, you know what I mean? James Tarkowski on next to your head and things away, kicking people on the edge, defending your 18-yard box compared to being left on an island
and playing footy
on the halfway line. Like exactly. it's a completely different thing. So again, would Liverpool have say, has he played enough games where Liverpool would be confident that he's the man? You'd probably at this moment in time say, no, they would probably want a bigger sample size of Premier League footy than what he's given them. He's been really impressive. I was staggered the numbers that Man United were getting asked or the report. I just think, wow, that's just the way footy is at this moment in time. But I actually think Man United played that one right. I think Everton were asking for too much money,
especially in the situation financially they were in as well.
And they managed to get out of it by selling a couple of other ones. But it's a big old fee for a lad who's had one good year. He
had a decent PSV, I think, that beforehand on loan.
Done all right over there.
Yeah. So he's got a decent amount of footy under his belt now. But I don't think it's one Liverpool should necessarily be moving heaven and earth to do. A couple of people mentioned Jarrad Hatto, good player. I think he's only 18, been linked obviously from the Dutch league as well. The VC, Arne Slot will be well aware of what he brings to the table, because I do think we need to sign a centre back potentially. However, somebody else mentioned in the chat we need the access to spawn one. I think there's a couple of young kids in the academy sides who could well be looking at a first team bit of football in the not too distant future. Just finally, Steve, 2 separate people have asked me 2 separate questions. So I'm going to suggest 2 names to you, and I want you to pick one of them about Liverpool who we should sign. Omar Mamouche and Kelleher. Which one?
I mean, Kelleher's better. He's also like 4 times more expensive, isn't he? So,
and they're different, but I'm still just doing it.
Yeah. If Salah goes, I think someone like a Kelleher is probably the profile of player where you think you can kind of get away with it. I like Mamouche. I think from what I've seen of him, I think he's a good player. So yeah, I would probably err on at this moment in time, Mamouche feels like he's in a better moment. He's scoring goals, so that's maybe swaying it. But I've always been a big Kvaratskhelia. The problem is, actually, I think he plays left wing.
The wrong side.
He's on the wrong side, isn't he? So that's the difficulty there, isn't it? I would probably say I'd probably err on the side of Mamouche, but that's more positionally and maybe a little bit of the money as well. I do like Kvaratskhelia. I think he's a bit of a throwback to the type of footy players I like enigma, never quite know what he's going to do, clearly very passionate, but like I say, at this moment in time, another left winger, like we've got a couple of them
over there. Yeah,
that's the worst position to be for us to be stocked up in at the moment.
No, absolutely. I'd be going for Mamouche.
What do you do?
I'm Mamouche.
I like the mask as well.
Yeah, flavour of the month a little bit, I think, as well, might be playing into that. But I think him and Salah are the only 2 with 10 goals, 10 assists so far this season across Europe, I think I'm right in saying.
I think Salah was the first there. I think
Mamouche has joined him, over the weekend, I'm sure.
Egypt must be the best team in the world. What's going on here?
Flying. Absolutely flying.
Salah hasn't even been with them yet.
No, don't need him. We got Mamouche, don't need Mohamed Salah. The Egyptian prince, nicely put, acid punch. Sound wonderful. That's another Liverpool news show done for today, and indeed the week. We will be back next week, keeping you across everything Liverpool related, as ever, because that's what we do here. And also, Steve, you're not here next week, I think I might say.
I'm having a well-earned week off, yes. But
you want to tell everyone about a little code that we've got going?
Yeah, absolutely. If you want more content, keep you busy over the weekend and all of next week. We got a bit of a discount on our Redmen Plus subscription service. If you go to redmenplus.com, sign up as a yearly captain and use that promo code TOP, you'll get it for half price. It works out at less than £35 for a year's worth of content. So what's that? You know, it's like £2 a month. It's stupid for the amount of stuff you get. It works out, we think, at about like 25 to 30 extra hours worth of content a month in podcast and video. So yeah, get yourself involved, and if you can, then that would be much appreciated. And if you can't, stick with us on YouTube, keep clicking that like button, keep sharing, keep subscribing, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm very optimistic about this season. So hopefully you guys are too.
Yeah, and either way, we'll see you there. Take it easy.